Happy March, Equinox, my friends. Welcome back. Some would say the Equinox gateway is open. And this is the time when the day and night are roughly equal. And at the same time, this is the zodiac new year. And if we would look nature in the northern hemisphere, we would say, well, it's also a beginning of something new because the nature started blooming. The days are starting to lengthening, warming up. People are coming out of their shells once again. And if you go outside, you may say, well, where have you been all that time, right? And it's also a time to remind yourself that a new chapter is opening for you. Every chapter, the purpose of every chapter is to help you to crystallize your character. So the character that you're wearing that is allowing you to express yourself becomes a reflection of your soul, becomes a reflection of your inner song. So each chapter, each cycle, each year allows you to crystallize yourself. So what it means, there are three major parts, three major cycles when it comes to our transformation. We could say three parts of the transformation. The first one is the dark phase, or three phases, yeah, that's the best word. The first phase is the dark phase, where we meet the greatest possible challenges, the greatest possible fears, the darkness, the doubts, the limiting beliefs. People are pulling us down. This is the dark phase. We find ourselves in that phase each year, sometimes each month, sometimes each week, until we do something about it. That's where we recognize the purpose of the dark phase. The purpose of the dark phase is to wake us up to a degree where we stop repeating old mistakes, where we stop lowering down our standards, where we start making boundaries, when we stop limiting ourselves, when we start nurturing ourselves like we would be a divine seed. Or you would be a divine seed that's about to grow into something that you truly want to be. So you need to nurture yourself. In the dark phase, you recognize that actually within you there's a potential. There's a potential for something. But it can only be developed if you stop repeating what is not nurturing that seed. That's the dark phase. And during this time of Equinox, people were reflecting on their darkness. Why? Because only when we start reflecting on the darkness, we recognize what we don't want to bring into the future. Oh, those habits, I don't want to repeat that anymore. Those words, I don't want to use them anymore. I don't want to talk with those people that way anymore. I don't want to forget about my worth anymore. I don't want to let myself down anymore. I don't want to lose faith into myself anymore. And when we start reflecting on that, we recognize a lot of our weaknesses. And that's where we enter into the second phase, the white phase, the phase of purification. We usually purify our diet. And for that, we need some deep introspection to recognize what kind of food is not serving us. Like when you eat a meal, you recognize what kind of food is kind of raises your energy and what kind of food lowers down your energy. You recognize that. Then you recognize your daily behaviors, and you may notice what may raise up your energy and what lowers down your energy. Sometimes you may say, well, you're not really a social person, but if you do something new in society, you may recognize, oh, it raised my energy so much. I'm really proud of myself. So just saying you're not social person is not quite correct, because you've recognized that you've been social and it helped you to raise your energy. So you need to be more specific. Like, you want to be social in the right way that's beneficial for you and for people around you. There's light within you and some people need it, right? So you need to find your people. And for your people, you're social. So whatever it is, the white phase is the phase of purification. This is the phase that is really important right now, because during this time of the March Equinox, you're purifying yourself. That's why people were writing things down on a piece of paper at this time and burning them. And when you burn something that is not fitting into your future lifestyle anymore, it's like printing something new into your consciousness. Like, that's what I don't want to do anymore. But you need to stay conscious so you will not fall into the old patterns anymore. But burning down something it's a really strong symbol. That's why people were burning fires at this time and dancing around and celebrating the release of toxicity, of heaviness, of what is not helping them to get to their next level. So it's time to level up, my friends. Right now it's time to level up and to purify yourself. March is a time for usually for detoxing, for physical detoxing, for mental detoxing, recognizing, oh, I don't want to use that social media so much anymore. I will actually turn off my phone for a few hours in a day, and I will connect myself back with nature to remind myself that I am the nature. Those are the things that can help us to purify ourselves and to recognize what's our journey here. Because we are beginning to notice through the evolution of technology that intellect is not real intelligence, right? Because you can go on the internet and you can find all the information. But the richness of life is real wisdom, right? The real richness is how rich you are with life. And during this time, it's an incredible time to reflect on that, how rich you feel with life. And what could you work on in this future phase to feel richer with life? Like, what brings joy into your life? What brings love for life into your life? Like, what awakens that sense of passion for living? What helps you to really feel alive? What places, what kind of nature, what kind of people, what kind of hobbies, what kind of things, whatever. And consider to do more of that. If that's the thing that makes your soul glow, do more of that. And that will bring you into the third phase, which is a phase of crystallization. It's time to crystallize your character. What it means? Well, it means that you discover what awakens your energy. You discover what makes your soul glow. You discover what helps you to express your authentic song that comes from your heart. And you develop your character around it. You shape your character around it so you can become that inner song. So you can become the voice of your heart. So you can become the message of what's coming through you. And by consistent repetition, you become really good at that. And that's called crystallization of the character. Finding your style. Becoming your unique you. That's the crystallization of the character. That's why each year we have cycle. Nature is all about cycles and rhythms. Sometimes we're more connected, sometimes we're less connected. But like pendulum swings, everything will come back, right? If you are in the zone feeling less connected, remember there will be a time where you will be more connected and you will recognize the purpose of this connection. And sometimes we go from connection to disconnection, so we start appreciating connection more, so we stop wasting our time. Right? More we are out of balance, more that pendulum is swinging. But more we find that harmony and balance and flow in our lives. More that pendulum becomes coherent and we could say well balanced, well flowy. We recognize, oh yes, I sense the rhythms of life, but I notice what's the purpose of this moment. That helps us to stay in tune with our intuitive knowing and sensing of that inner compass that reminds us what to focus on at this moment. Like for me right now, I sense, well, I'm working on some beautiful changes that are putting a smile on my face, and I'm really happy about it. I've initiated that and I'm joyful about it. So I'm happy with my life. But if I would ignore that call, making that changes that I felt that I need to make, I would felt like there's something like a force. I would felt a tension within my stomach area, and the tension would be getting stronger, like there's something you're ignoring. So sometimes deep meditations are important to in tune with our emotional system and recognizing, well, what do I need to change in my life? Because change is the only constant, right? So we need to recognize what changes are necessary for myself right now. So if you're watching this right now, I want to encourage you, take a piece of paper and write down your weaknesses. Write down what you don't want to do anymore. Write down what is holding you back. Identify it. Become aware of it. Recognize it. Because there's no possibility to move forward and experience something new if you're not aware of what is holding you back. Recognize it. This is the most perfect time in this year, the most perfect time to leave behind your old self so you can become the new self, right? And tomorrow we have a new moon. I will make another video tomorrow, and we'll be talking about how to initiate the new you, the change that you wish to see. There's so much coming up, so much to look up for. But firstly, we need to know why we're looking down so much, right? Realizing that and leaving that behind with acceptance, forgiveness, and compassion. What it means? Well, if you're not compassionate towards your past, you will be blaming yourself. You will be angry towards yourself. Oh, I said those words to that person. Oh, that person was so mean to me. Yes, this happened. But at the beginning I mentioned Sun entered into the zodiac sign of Aries. Aries is this fiery sign. And why is that important? Because Sun influences our character. What's the character? Well, without a character, you would be just light, and there would be all the same lights. But then character makes this light unique. So when you're shining your light, you're shining your light uniquely your way. So what makes your character? Everything you've been through makes your character. But then Sun's energy influences your perception of what you've been through. So sometimes, like right now when Sun entered into the zodiac sign of Aries, it may inspire you to see a bigger meaning of why you've been through something traumatic. So we may feel motivated to heal that wound, to talk with that person if possible, to talk with your parents, to nurture the relationship and heal whatever needs to be healed, so we can break the cycle. Maybe you're a cycle breaker in your family. It's a person who decides to heal the family wound that's kind of being passed on through generations and generations, and you're the one who decided to heal that wound, whatever it was. I'm recognizing in my family that I'm the only one who decided to heal certain patterns and wounds, and it's not an easy job. And if you're that one, you know it's not an easy job, but at the same time you can't ignore that, you can't neglect that. So if you feel like that, it means that you're doing a great work, because something unhealthy because of you will be healed, so it will not pass on to next generations. And for that, Sun's energy is navigating you through all of that. So right now, because of this Aries energy, there's a lot of this strong, inspiring force that may help us to see a bigger meaning, to see why we should look up for something. Because once that wound is healed, something incredible will increase within you. Not just within you, but within your whole family tree. Well, some people will not decide to move through that transformation, but some will, and those who will experience the same force that you're experiencing. Many people will wake up because of your work of healing. That's why this present time is so important for that work. So reflect on that and see what you want to leave behind. See what you want to work on for the future chapter. And of course, we'll talk more about it in the future. So, my friends, I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. And I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Till next time, one love.